March 18, 1990. Boston was celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Streets were crowded, bars were full, and police were busy dealing with thousands of people enjoying the night. It seemed like the perfect evening for a crime no one could have imagined. Just after 1 o'clock in the morning, two men dressed as Boston police officers arrived outside the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They rang the security buzzer and calmly told the guard they were responding to a disturbance nearby. The museum had only 2 guards on duty. One of them, 23-year-old Rick Abath, made a decision that would change history forever. Against museum rules, he unlocked the side door and allowed the officers inside. The moment the men stepped inside, everything changed. One of them looked directly at the guard and said, "You're not under arrest. This is a robbery." Within seconds, both guards were handcuffed and tied up with duct tape in the museum basement. The robbers now had the entire museum to themselves. There were no alarms triggered, no police rushing to help, no witnesses. They had planned every minute of the operation and knew exactly where they wanted to go. For the next 81 minutes, the thieves moved quietly from room to room. They ignored many of the museum's most valuable treasures and focused only on a carefully selected group of artworks. One by one, they removed masterpieces from the walls. Some paintings were carefully cut from their frames with a knife. Empty frames remained hanging where priceless works of art had once been displayed. Among the stolen works was Rembrandt's famous painting The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, the only seascape he ever painted. Its value today is considered almost impossible to estimate. The robbers also stole works by Johannes Vermeer, Degas, Manet, and several priceless historical objects. In total, 13 pieces disappeared into the darkness. When the morning staff arrived, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The guards were still tied up. The galleries were silent, and empty frames hung on the walls like ghosts. It was immediately clear that history had just been made. The FBI quickly realized this wasn't an ordinary robbery. The thieves hadn't simply stolen expensive paintings. They had taken some of the most recognizable masterpieces on Earth. But the biggest mystery was only beginning. Who were these men? And where had the art disappeared? Within hours, the FBI sealed off the museum. Every room was photographed, every fingerprint collected, and every possible clue examined. Investigators believed such a sophisticated crime had to be the work of experienced professionals. Surprisingly, the thieves left behind very little evidence. No clear fingerprints, no useful DNA, no surveillance footage showing their faces. It was as if they had vanished into the night without leaving a trace. The biggest question puzzled investigators from the very beginning. Why did the robbers ignore paintings worth even more money? Instead, they chose 13 specific objects, suggesting they had been working from a carefully prepared shopping list. Experts soon concluded that selling these paintings legally would be impossible. Every collector, museum, and auction house in the world knew exactly what had been stolen. The masterpieces had instantly become some of the most recognizable missing artworks in history. Investigators turned their attention to Boston's organized crime families. Several well-known criminals were questioned. Some informants claimed the paintings had been moved through underground networks, traded as collateral between powerful criminal groups. One suspect repeatedly attracted the FBI's attention. Career criminal Robert Gentile was believed to know where the paintings had once been hidden. His home was searched several times, but investigators never found the missing masterpieces. Years passed, but the case refused to die. New witnesses appeared. Anonymous letters were sent. Rumors spread that the paintings had been transported across state lines or even smuggled overseas. Every lead ended the same way, with another dead end. In 2013, the FBI made a major announcement. Officials declared they had identified the criminals responsible for the robbery. But there was one problem: they still couldn't recover a single painting or reveal exactly where the masterpieces had gone. Meanwhile, the museum refused to replace the missing paintings. The empty frames remain hanging on the walls, exactly where the masterpieces once stood, a haunting reminder that the mystery is still unsolved. More than 3 decades have passed since that night in Boston. The reward for information has grown to millions of dollars, yet no one has ever returned the stolen treasures. And that raises one final question. Are the paintings still out there? Over the years, countless theories have tried to explain what happened to the missing masterpieces. Some investigators believe the paintings were hidden inside private warehouses, waiting for the right moment to be used as bargaining chips in criminal negotiations. Another theory suggests the artwork was transported overseas within days of the robbery. If true, the paintings may have passed through multiple countries, hidden inside shipping containers or private collections beyond the reach of law enforcement. Some experts fear an even darker possibility. The paintings may have been damaged, destroyed, or stored in conditions that slowly ruined them forever. If that happened, one of humanity's greatest cultural treasures may already be lost. Despite decades of investigation, the museum has never given up hope. The empty frames still hang on the walls, exactly as Isabella Stewart Gardner wanted her collection displayed. Visitors from around the world stop in silence, staring at the spaces where history once hung. The FBI continues to receive tips every year. Some appear promising, others are deliberate hoaxes. Every lead is investigated, but the result has always been the same. No paintings, no arrests, no final answers. Today, the estimated value of the stolen collection exceeds $500 million, but experts agree the real loss cannot be measured in money. These masterpieces are irreplaceable pieces of human history. Perhaps the greatest irony is that the thieves may never have been able to profit from their crime. The paintings are simply too famous to sell openly. Their enormous value makes them almost impossible to own without attracting immediate attention. More than 35 years later, the Gardner Museum heist remains the largest unsolved art theft in history. A carefully planned crime, carried out in just 81 minutes, continues to challenge investigators around the world. Somewhere, perhaps in a hidden room, a forgotten warehouse, or a private collection, 13 missing masterpieces may still exist, waiting for the day someone finally uncovers the truth. If these paintings were discovered tomorrow, it would become one of the greatest recoveries in history. Until then, the empty frames remain, silent witnesses to a mystery that has never been solved. If you enjoy true stories, unsolved mysteries, and history's greatest crimes, subscribe to Hidden Files. There are many more unbelievable real stories waiting to be uncovered.